fans on the bow, a dream come true. That is some moment. Aguero!
Welcome to Sport from the Bleachers. Results and opinions for the fans, by the fans. You'll notice us laughing because I stumbled. I'd actually forgotten how to introduce our podcast. We've had a few weeks off. Boys have been crook and whatever else, and we've had some stuff come up. But we're back, and nothing's really changed, to be honest. Boys, before I introduce you, I'll run through what hasn't changed. Paris shit.
Here we go.
Still, Dragons are still shit. Man United aren't doing that good on a pre-season trip. And the Poms are still whinging.
Yeah.
Young'un, that's a brilliant headset. Welcome to the new age that you're in.
The new look.
JB.
I like it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Why,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing well. Bit of technical difficulties, but I had to pull out the Amazon fucking headset.
Very good.
Mate, good to be back.
Yeah, it's
Now,
a good
boys,
break.
The break was great. I know we had everyone was crook or we had something on. It was tough to record and people have been wanting the podcast. But before we get started, I'm going to start with Hedo's hero in a sec. And we're going to talk about the Women's World Cup and a couple of other things. But you both need to apologise to Freddie and Brandy. Both of you.
What's that?
Because they won.
Yeah.
2-1.
Wow.
And Young'un, you need to apologise to Bradman Best for saying he shouldn't be there and he scores a double.
Hey, he did look like he should be there though.
This is why I'm not in the selection committee or anything like that, mate. I'll stick to sitting on a podcast and getting on the piss and telling people what I think. And then I'll just eat my own hat the following week.
But it was pretty funny that they basically destroyed them when they had a bit of ball and whatever else. And I guess you can probably say that Cody Walker had a centre that could run. Jerome Luai didn't had Damien Cook outside him in the second game. So I think if Luai has Bradman outside him, I think he probably gets man of the match in the third game, to be fair.
Yeah, it's hard to definitively say that Cook's the right man or he's not the right man. Like Luai's the right man for the job or not, when a lot of things changed around him. So, but no, you're right. It's good to see him get up though and finally click. So
yeah. Right, boys.
next year.
I'm gonna jump straight in here, and apologies for taking over, but I'm running with two Hedo's heroes this week, and it sort of runs. The second one will run into our chat about the Women's World Cup, but my first hero is a sort of a combined hero in David Beckham and Lionel Messi. Now I know that's probably an easy out there, but there's a photo going around on social media where everyone's got their cameras out and David Beckham's just sitting there, the only one without his phone camera out.
Yeah. Looking at him like a proud father.
Yeah, like they say a picture says 1,000 words. It's probably going to be one of the most iconic photos of the MLS season, I dare say. It's only a pre-season tournament, but I guess it's a big deal, and for those who don't know football, Messi is a big deal. And his left foot is just made of gold. And to score a 94th minute winner and just picked out the top corner, I don't really think people understand what he's doing for football in America and Latin America, because it's massive, mate. They're now the most followed athletic team in the United States.
I agree with you 100%. And the photo, like obviously Beckham's just soaking it in. There's no point getting your photo, just soak it in, right?
Soak it in.
But the Messi effect, I saw the ticket prices have gone from like $40 to like $400.
Yeah.
Now, like, understandably so, but you feel for those people that kind of have been around with them since the start, go on there each game and then be like, fuck, I can't afford that,
No, and see, there's always a downside to it, and that is the downside, right? And from what I'm hearing, that there is something going on around the MLS hierarchy about controlling ticket prices because of that. But again, I don't think you can downplay the Messi effect. Like, mate, he could have gone to Saudi Arabia for $1 billion, right? And he didn't. And he's taken an equity share into Miami that's now been valued at over $1 billion from him signing. So, one person, pretty big effect.
Massive.
And scores a double. Comes out today, captains the team and scores a double.
Yeah, led the team out, scored a double. Unbelievable.
And yeah, Busquets and Messi are going to dominate that league like you don't understand.
When do you reckon they win the comp, Hedo?
Within
a few years or what?
If they don't win it, look, they've still got some more signings to come. There's still a massive rumour that Suarez is going to go, and Suarez has been on Beckham's radar since day one. So if they can sign Busquets, and I know I'm not saying that right, someone's going to give it to me. They sign Busquets, Ramos, which isn't it, may sign, Suarez and Messi. They win the comp this year.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are, mate. Ramos will shit out of you. Busquets will knock the ball to Suarez and Messi.
Yeah.
So, like, with Messi coming to that league, like, he obviously should dominate compared to the leagues he's been playing in versus the leagues in now.
Yeah.
Like, is that a big drop? Because, I mean, I don't know too much about the MLS, but is that a big drop in skill level or?
Oh, look, it is, but it's not as bad as Saudi Arabia. It's not terrible, but they've got all the money.
The Saudi's obviously a lot worse.
But the MLS, they've got some good players, man. USA aren't a bad national team, and I think it's only going to get stronger. It's just a shame that Australia's not doing it.
Yeah, so we can. All right, you started it, right?
Sorry.
And so before I get on to the second part of Hedo's Hero, which will take us into the Women's World Cup, right? You're exactly right, Young, and it's a shame Australia's not doing it. And I understand we can't compete with the cash. We can't compete with $1 billion and whatever else, right? But we can compete with the lifestyle and the chance to come over for a 10, 15, 20 game guest stint, right? Where we can throw up, $1 million or whatever. Because I can guarantee you, if we were to get a Messi, a Ramos or Suarez, for example, right, for 10, 15 games, every stadium they go to will be sold out in Australia. You make your money back in an instant. You make your money back in jersey sales.
Yeah, well, it's like
it's
like a relative comparison is like, I remember when Franklin signed that deal, it's from sponsorships.
How do you make your money back?
Everyone was like, "Fuck, how can you play someone that much money?" He made his money. Sydney made their money back the first 2 years, just sales. So,
and it's the same as like the Del Piero thing, right? They gave him way overs. Sydney FC did. Dwight York, same thing, way overs. But they sell merch. They get sponsors. They get the corporate world. Then starts to look at football. Anyway, Young, and that was the wrong way to go because that gets me frustrated, and I can't understand what the APL's doing. But my other hero is Steph Catley, and I'll tell you the reason why. Sam Kerr gets ruled out. They know 2 days before. Steph Catley takes over the captain's armband. Then has to step up in front of 80,000 people and 1 million odd, or however many viewers watching worldwide to knock a penalty in. And to knock a penalty in top corner left-footed the way she did is probably one of the best pens you'll see in a long time. And the pressure that poor girl was under to, I guess, block it all out and perform on the biggest stage. Because I'm guaranteeing there's a lot of people wanting the Matildas to fail around NRL media and AFL media, wanting them to fail, and that would have been a fail. And she pots at top corner. It's a massive goal.
Yeah, huge goal, massive goal. It's it's exciting for the girls, man. There's like, I know that game was rubbish. Look, it was.
But mate, they kicked the shit out of each other.
They did. It was a lot of lost possession and all that, and probably nerves and not being used to playing without Sam Kerr. She was a big loss.
Correct.
However, yeah, she slotted it well, and you could see how much it meant to the girls. And I think there's a couple of girls there that that caught my eye. That I think her name's Gorry.
Katrina Gorry.
Katrina Gorry, man. Little pocket rocket in the middle
Covered
of the park.
every blade of grass on the pitch, I think.
And fucking snapped every single player that come across her. And she's only playing for Brisbane Roar at the moment. So
yeah, so she'll go overseas?
She'll go overseas, absolutely. I guess while we're on the topic, you're on the same team as my young gun. So now
you're not going to go.
Yeah, my young gun that I want you to keep an eye out for this week's game against Nigeria is Mary Fowler. She is 20 years old. She is a weapon, although she didn't play good on the last week. Now, the only reason being she's not playing in her normal position. She was thrown in for Sam Kerr late. So I feel for her. She knows it wasn't her best game, but a lot of people are doubting her, but I'm telling you, she's a weapon, and she'll do well against Nigeria. She's going to score a goal. She'll score a goal.
How long is Kerr out for?
This game only, I believe. 2 games in total, and back for game 3.
Okay, so it's not like a full tear.
So she's been seen in the gym today doing calf weights.
Yeah.
So that gets her back.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, young, continuing on from your young gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to, and JB and I had a bit of a chat about this while you were having your technical difficulties and whatever else. And apologies if I keep turning my camera off. I've got a head cold and I'm sneezing and carrying on like there's no tomorrow. Where the Matildas, most of their team are played overseas, right? At big clubs. So I want to run you through a couple of the Matildas and the clubs they're playing at, right? So Mackenzie Arnold, the goalkeeper,
yep,
who saved us in the end and did very well. She's playing at West Ham. Lydia Williams, second, third choice keeper, is at Brighton. Ellie Carpenter, Champions League winner at Lyon. Steph Catley, Arsenal. Alana Kennedy, Man City. Courtney Nevin, Leicester City. Hayley Razzo was at Man City, now just transferred to Real Madrid. Massive, and she's a player to watch. Claire Wheeler's at Everton. Katrina Gorry's obviously at Brisbane Roar. Chloe Lagazzo's at Western United. Caitlin Ford, Arsenal. Mary Fowler, Man City. Emily Gilnick, Aston Villa. Sam Kerr, Chelsea. Remy Simonson, Leicester. Kai Simon, Tottenham Hotspur. So, for people to say, whatever about the women's game, they're all playing at big clubs. Well, most of them are all playing at big clubs.
A lot more than the men.
A lot more than the men, right? So, we need to put a bit of... And look, I'm fully into it because my daughter is loving it at the moment, right? So, I'm jumping on board with her and getting around it. But, though they didn't play the best football... There was a South Korea-Colombia game with 25,000 people at it at the SFS or wherever it was at 11 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah, wow. That's insane.
Seriously.
I think I saw something yesterday. They've had more more viewers for... It might have been that Matildas game ever recorded
in women's football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so massive. I think what it does is, right, and JB, is it shows that there's an appetite for football, right? And I know you said on our last potty before we sort of had a couple of weeks off that they are promoting the Women's World Cup even down Victoria and they don't have as many games. But you're seeing it all over mainstream media and whatever else as well, right?
Yeah, they're pumping it, yeah.
It's good so there is appetite for it. And Young, and you and I had a conversation over the weekend, just after the Matildas game, when a few of the NRL reporters, JB, up here got on Twitter and wrote an article about how the Australian Matildas and Sam Kerr have let the whole of Australia down by not saying Sam Kerr had a calf injury. So all the fans turned up just to see Sam Kerr. They didn't. So basically, this is a Women's World Cup. It's not a friendly game, right? So no coach is going to give away their team.
Nah, and it's not. It's like that during the week of an NRL game, right?
Yeah.
Like during the week, and it's not. And this is a World Cup, as you said.
Yeah. They're not going to give any
during
advantage.
the week, on round 15, for example,
yeah,
the coaches of Penrith and Parramatta, they're not going to say that, are they?
Mate, Isaac Tunga and Spencer Leniu were ruled out on the day.
Yeah, exactly.
On the weekend.
It's
I'm going to have to.
It's just them jumping on the back of the media storm and trying to get the NRL back into the spotlight.
Yeah.
Lads, I've just seen Mary Fowler's been ruled out with concussion. So,
hey, well, she's still a young gun though. That's the main thing.
Yeah, well, poor Mary.
Mate, she's only just been ruled out, right? So don't.
Sorry. Yep. Sorry, guys. She's been ruled out,
and she will play, right? More games. So lads, I think they're my two, and that's moved us on to the World Cup and whatever else, and we've filtered in that young Australia's young gun out for obviously football as well. So keep your eye on it, and we will speak about the football as well. The Australian Cup's still going on, and then the A-League's back in pre-season, the Premier League's back in pre-season, so we will give an update on how that's going as well.
All right, so before we move on, early doors, how do you reckon the Aussies will go? Where do you reckon they'll get to? How far do you reckon they can go into the draw?
So they play Nigeria, right? And I think it's very and Nigeria had a 0-0 with Canada, who are the Olympic gold medalists, right? So they're good. We get 3 points against Nigeria. We qualify top.
Okay.
Canada becomes a dead rubber. And then, if my memory serves me correctly, gets us on the opposite side if we finish top to America.
And that's the top 16, is it? Is that how it works?
Yeah. So, and then
and our top, America,
America America won the last 3 World Cups, right?
So still the favourites,
We link up with England's group. So if England and Australia finish first, they don't play. If England finish first and Australia finish second, we play England. Or if England finish second and Australia finish first, we play.
Okay.
All right. So, mate.
So beating Nigeria is a big move forward, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an easy win there, man. I think Nigeria's paying like $8.50. Come on.
Yeah, I know. But see, Philippines just beat the Kiwis.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't know.
We had a rough start. We'll be right.
And look, if you can keep Sam Kerr off her feet and she comes back, right, even if she gets 15 minutes against Canada, right, or even 10 minutes at the end, just to run it out, or even don't play her and she starts.
Well, if it's a dead rubber,
the round of 16. Look, I give them a big shot. They were tough. Ireland really, really put it to us. And I think if they iron out a few issues, I'll give them a big chance. A big chance. They could get pumped by Nigeria now. We've all said that they could have a big chance. But
I haven't said anything.
I was just about to say, you got to be quiet, Justin. You just stick to your fucking Parramatta Eagles.
Yeah, so as I said, over the coming podcasts, between the three of us, we'll run you through the pre-seasons of the Premier League and how it's all travelling, transfers, whatever else. Keep you updated. I think the big thing for football this year is going to be Messi, right?
Yeah,
is going to be Messi and how that plays out, and as well as obviously the Saudis and whatever else, but and the transfer and the finish of the transfer window. But boys, onto the NRL. Nothing changes. Penrith keep winning. Dragons can't even hardly beat the Tigers. Para are in I don't even know what they're in. South looking like they're out of the 8. Sharks can't beat a top 8 team.
Yep.
What else? Canterbury. Wow.
They're shit.
I've just signed another Penrith player today in Jamin Salmon.
Did they?
So they're turning into the Mini Panthers. Also, do want to give a massive shout out to Mav Guy, who signed for another 2 years with Penrith and has been upgraded to a top 30 contract for the rest of the year. So,
yeah, awesome stuff.
Big congrats to him and massive effort, mate. So well done.
Can I back on one thing? Sorry. You say Jamin Salmon went to the Raiders?
Dogs.
Oh, I was going to say the Raiders.
So now they are.
What the fuck?
Now they are wheat-gutted dogs.
Yeah.
Bang.
Very good.
Very good. Yeah,
very good.
But boys, what I do want to talk about before we get into a couple of things that we've jotted down to talk about, and I want to start this. Andrew Webster's changed the Warriors, and the Warriors are probably at the moment the Smokies for the comp. And I'll say Smokies in sort of, they could get beaten by 50 in the grand final, or they could win it by 50.
Yeah, and they have an awesome run home.
Yes,
like that they pay majority of the teams 10 and under, so they'll look like they'll finish top 4. If they could finish second, that would be
massive
so they
advantage for them.
So let's talk about that. So you've thrown that out. If they finish second and win the first week, right? Them and Penrith win. Let's say Penrith are going to finish first, right?
They'll finish top, yeah.
So they finish first, second, both win their games. They then end up on the opposite sides, and that could be the grand final, yeah?
It should be the grand final, yeah. Because it's a home prelim for both.
Yes.
Yeah, so
that's massive. That's a home prelim in New Zealand, mate. It's massive.
If they, I was saying, if they finish second, then it's probably the best chance of making the grand final if they finish second. And there's no reason why they can't, to be honest, just with their run home. So look, and they deserve it. Bloody hell! It's not like they just win at home. Like they're they're turning up. Andrew Rebs has done really well with them, and Sean Johnson's playing. He Daly M favourite at the moment, do you reckon?
He's got to win it. Reece Walsh is. Yeah. I think Reece Walsh was his biggest competition, and he's suspended. So
got suspended, and Drinkwater as well, and he's suspended.
Yeah, but Drinky, I agree. But Drinky wouldn't have got any points for the first 10 weeks. They were shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So if Drinky wins it, it's a massive get because he's basically scored 3 points in every game since.
He was injured, wasn't he, for a bit?
Yeah,
and then when
he comes start,
But that's when he come back from injury, he was like a brand new player.
Yeah. It's not like they put a new hands in him and he just fucking started catching it and passing it. Boys, I want to ask you one thing about the Warriors and what Webby's done over there and whatever else, and he seems to have got everyone playing. But he's turned Dylan Walker into one of the best players in the comp, coming off the bench. Turns into that ball playing lock, or I don't even know what position you can call it. Dummy half, 5'8".
Dylan Walker's always had that ability. He just has brain snaps
but he hasn't had a brain snap yet, has he?
Nah. He's just comfortable there. So,
and he's turned Dallin Watini-Zelezniak into basically you can just jump on him every week if you need some cash.
Yeah,
he scores for fun.
He does.
Boys, what I want to talk about that I didn't write through is I want your opinion on the Raiders, because they keep winning and they took the Warriors over there to the death. And look, for me, probably should have won, to be honest. Seb Chris probably should have got a penalty try for getting whacked in the head, or at least penalised.
Yeah.
Where do you think they go? And I'll preface that they're 5th at the moment, but their differential is minus 56.
Yeah, I think the thing with them, I saw a stat the other day that I think they haven't won a game by over 10 points or something like that, right? So it shows they win the tight games, right? And generally finals are tight games, so they could upset a couple if they get their head right and that, So it's hard. Yeah, they've been up and down. Like, it's hard to tip them, but they have shown they can win the tight game, so that could mean anything, really.
Yeah, and they go. So they've got the next 5 games: Newcastle, Tigers, Storm, Dogs, Broncos.
Yeah, well, the Knights are going right at the moment, but they should win most of them. Maybe the not Storm Broncos would be hard for them, but
Yeah, but you'd probably tick them off for 3,
yeah, 3 out. Yeah.
right? Whereas Cronulla go Penrith, South, Titans, Cowboys, Newcastle.
Yeah, no chance.
They might. Yeah, they might struggle to hold their form. Sharks, they're not. I don't know what's happened. It's like the ever since Origin, Nico has just disappeared. He's not himself ever since that 12-minute.
But
Yeah.
can I ask one thing? Was he ever that against the good teams?
Well, he won a Dally M.
Yeah, absolutely. But was that week in, week out against the big teams? Because even last year they didn't beat hardly. They beat 2 top 8 teams all year, and they had a good draw.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't win a final.
Yeah, the flat track bullies. Yeah.
Like,
again,
it's
it's
a valid point.
Like, if the same thing keeps happening, there's an issue. Yeah.
Well, you know what? They made those. Fitzgibbon made those 2 changes this week.
They still couldn't tackle on that left side,
and they still fucked it up. So that's a fucking headache for him as well.
And you know what? I like Fitzy. I'm all for him, and he's a gun. They were down 30-0, and he was whinging about some penalties given away, but they were down 30-0 in the first half. Mate,
he's got
to try. Yeah,
he's got it, mate.
He's got to try, mate.
He's got to try something. Now, while we continue on, before we get to the good teams, I think Newcastle I think Newcastle are the Smokies, and Souths and Para, and we'll talk about both of them. And Souths and Para are going to struggle.
Look, I think Newcastle, they're going well. Injury free, and Ponga doesn't get flicked in the nose for any concussions, then that Kalen and Bradman combination.
Greg Marzu, mate.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Dom
Young.
Yeah, Dom Young's a freak. If they keep that going, then I think they're finally starting to click. But South, I don't know. I can't count them out. Latrell's back this week.
All right, so I'll paint you. They don't have the worst run for the next 5. They go Tigers, Cronulla, St George, Newcastle, Roosters.
I reckon they'll win all of them.
All right, hold your thought there. They're in 9th. Para, Melbourne, St George, Brisbane, Roosters, Penrith.
Yeah, with the worst run home. I think
they're 8th and 9th at the moment.
Yeah, and especially with Reg getting suspended and Sevo getting suspended. Dylan's, I don't think he's due back this next
week. Dragons,
next week, I reckon.
Dragons is back.
I think you'll find that I'm going Friday night, Storm Eels. Now, if we get pumped by the Storm, I think you'll find that'll be it. I think we've got
let's stay there with Para.
Yeah.
They've signed Joey Lussick. I got his name right today, young. Because Josh Hodgson's neck is no good and looks like he's attempting to be medically retired. Now, if you go to Para, do you automatically get medically retired? How many medical retirements do Parramatta get?
There's been a few, hey?
Mate, you dead set signed blokes in wheelchairs.
Yeah, I know. What was Chock? Chock was one of them as well.
Mate, look, there's probably not that many, but
guess... if you go, Para gets pumped. I think you lose, right?
Yeah, I think
coming off the back of Melbourne's loss last week, Bellamy would have tore him a new one, and they're going to come out firing out of the blocks. Now, Say you
That's
lose.
your issue. That's your issue.
That's a big problem.
At home.
Yeah. So say that you get pumped, you guys will go back and you'll be fighting like buggery, and then you'll face my Dragons at home at Combank, which I'm going to. Now, yeah. No, what I'm saying is you'll go back there and you'll flog the Dragons, right?
Yeah, good.
Yous will.
That could be the worst game in NRL history.
It could.
Maybe
I mean, it's
60-0.
What I'm getting at, it could all depend on the results in these over the next couple of weeks. Because unless if you guys somehow beat Melbourne,
Look, I can't. It's going to be hard without Regan Campbell-Gillard, Sevo, Sean Lane's dislocated his shoulder, his elbow. Like, I'm not going to blame it on injuries, but it's not hard. It's going to be hard to go down there and beat them.
You need Dylan
and the
Brown
worst
back,
case
man.
scenario. Yeah, and
You
the
need
worst
Dylan
thing
Brown.
is, like, I think this is the start. If we can jag a win, this is our wave. You know what I mean? We've got to take this in. But
mate, I'll say one thing: Para fucked themselves, right? Dylan Brown carried on like a pork chop. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Fuck the team. Regan Campbell-Gillard, mate. That's one of the dumbest things I've seen on a football field.
That was stupid.
Right. Two of your best players in your team, right, have just been stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. But
it's costing you.
It is 100% cost us. I feel bad. We got empathy for them because of the draw they had at the start of the year, playing 6 consecutive games against 6 teams off the back of a bye, which didn't fucking help. You know, and winning 1 out of the first 6 games or something like that. So that set us back. Yeah, that was shit. But yeah, injuries and Dylan really cost us as much as Arcee's been okay.
He's been fine, but he's not Dylan Brown, and we've said that.
Nah.
Oh, and especially the form Dylan was in. Fuck, he was killing it, mate.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Look, it is what it is.
Let's hope. For this podcast's sake, it's very good when Para are bad. Although we love Brendan and we're all aboard the Brendan Hands train, it's very good for our ratings when Para shit. When Para good, no one listens.
So Joey's coming in. Joey Lussick's coming in this week.
Yeah.
Expecting to see the similar Hodgson Hands
rotation.
Well, I want to throw this up. Then I'm young. I didn't talk to you about this the other day.
Yep. Go.
I'm of the opinion that Lussick will start. He won't start this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He'll start, take the sting out of the game, and let Brendan finish it and run. And
like Hodjo did.
Now, that's not needed for Brendan. He is an 80-minute player. But if they've signed a bloke, I think if you're looking at how players play, Joey Lussick seems to be a similar player to Josh Hodgson, right? So let him go in and take the sting out of the game and Handsy come on and finish it. But not finish it if you're 50-0 down like he was getting.
That's right. He's got to manage the game better this time round, man. I think you guys. I think Para could have won games had he have managed Brendan and Josh earlier this season in a better way. Obviously, the win rating's gone up since Brendan's been playing a lot more minutes. But I'm with you, Hedo. He needs to have both of them there, and maybe he does use Joey to take the sting out, but bring Brendan on last 20 of both halves or something.
Bring him on. Just give him. Joey Lussick looks like the type that can play the Mitch Kenny role where he can go on and play lock, or he can go on and play.
That's right.
Just as a ball running front rower like Kenny does for the rest of the game when Sonny Luke comes on, which then gives you an extra forward rotation, like an extra, because it looks like Regan Campbell-Gillard out. You're pretty light on front rowers, JB, as well.
Yeah, look, it's not ideal, but
again, podcast ratings, mate. Don't go good.
Well, yeah, I don't know. No, we need to go good. Fuck.
No.
Anyway, so I just hope that even if we aren't making finals, we got Penrith in the last. We tend to do well against them. I hope we just smash them, injure a few, and keep moving on.
You are going good. Now, on this podcast weeks ago, we I called that Trent Robertson can't coach. Not can't coach. That was pretty harsh.
That's the word you said. Yeah.
I did say that he can't coach. They've won like 1 or 2 games since, but he's got the decent cattle there, and he's not winning games. And Fox Sports called him out for 1 week, if you'll notice. I don't know how much you watch. Buzz wrote an article about it, and then they got him on NRL 360, and they let him get away with it. They didn't go hard at him. Like, if that's Freddie, Brandy, Ivan, Ricky, well, not Ricky because they love Ricky, but Adam O'Brien, Tim Sheens, they're ripping into him.
Mm.
Yeah. Like, they're
12th. Everyone tipped them to win the comp.
I did the start of this year. I mean, we talked about the first episode. It was like, I remember saying, the list they've got, if they can all click like they should, you can't beat them. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be hard to beat. But on the weekend, they played, given it was against the Titans, but still the Titans away. They played like, you think they should be, So,
Roosters of old now, but is that a one-off? Because they've done that before. They've blown 3.
Well, this is their chance right now to prove that. Look, yes, we've had a freaking shit start. Let's play like we should be playing, but it could be a one-off. Yeah, it could be, but there's a. So is Joseph Suwali going to finish the season or not?
I think he finishes the season, but I think we spoke about it before, Young and JB on this, that there's rumours we're hearing as well that they'll flick him, and there's been, since I think Young and you brought that up on this podcast, saying that, but around the same time I said Robertson can't coach, that there's rumours floating around that they want him gone to rugby the season early. Where there's smoke, there's fire, because that then come out through Foxtel, through Fox Sports, late last week as well, about the same thing. And they're still giving it to Brandon Smith. There's obviously smoke around him as well.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So, and you never hear anything coming out of the Roosters. You never hear anything for the last 10 years, whether they were good, bad, or ugly. There was never a leak.
Protected species.
Protected. Now there's starting to be a bit of a leak,
Yeah.
And that's when they're gonna, and that's why I think they'll flick him.
Yep. And I don't, mate. I'm not comfortable that they're confident that they're going to make the 8 with the way it's all going on all the media.
I've got it here in front of me, right? They're on 22 points with a differential of -88, right? They play the Broncos, Manly, Dolphins, Para, Tigers. They've pretty much got to win the next 5 to guarantee that, to be honest.
They'll probably, the Broncos will be hard, but
mate, they'll lose to the Dolphins.
Para might be close, but they'll have to. Yeah, that best case scenario, I think they'll be 4 out of 5. So
they've got Broncos away, Manly at home, Dolphins at home, Para away, and Tigers. Manly at Brookie's tough.
Yeah. Fucking Daly Cherry Evans has been playing really well too. I cannot stand the bloke. I know you hate him, but we got to give him a rap. It's one of the best seasons he's played in a long time, man.
You can.
Okay. Well done, Daly Cherry Evans.
I'll double down. He's been playing good.
No, he has.
Yeah.
Good.
Credits where credit's due, mate.
Just like Sean Johnson, mate. The older they get, they're getting better.
Sean Johnson, mate.
He's been playing real good. All right, look, before we go into the AFL, just want to touch on the top 2 teams in Penrith and the Broncos. Can the Broncos hold on, or are they in the dip of last year?
I reckon they'll hold on enough to stay in the top 4.
So they've got Roosters. They've got Roosters, Cowboys, Para, Canberra, Melbourne.
Yes, that's tough. Roosters is tough. Cowboys, they'll probably get done.
Melbourne tough.
Melbourne stuff, So I think you'll find that they'll finish. They've done enough to finish top 4. I reckon that Warriors might, as I said before, Warriors might finish second and they might finish 4th or 3rd or 4th. But I think, as I said, they've done enough to stay top 4.
Right. Do we see Penrith falling out of the top 4 at all?
No.
Penrith get the minor
They'll finish
premiership.
top.
So they've got Cronulla, Melbourne at home.
Mm-hmm.
Melbourne Titans away, Para at home.
They'll win. They'll win all of them, really. Maybe not Para.
I want to say, that there was talk around. There you go.
It's quite funny. Last year, Nathan Cleary was out for X amount of time.
6 weeks.
6 weeks he got, and everyone was doubting the Panthers. Everyone was doubting Nathan Cleary. And I remember I was telling, look, I'm not the biggest Penrith fan like you, Hedo, but I was saying to everyone,
because you're a Dragons fan.
Nathan Cleary will come out.
Or a Para fan.
Everyone thought, he's not playing football. He's not playing football. But the bloke trained his ass off, and he came out and he fucking ran at home. Now, the same thing's happening again. He's just been out.
During the week, like I saw on the weekend, coming back from a hamstring, like all eyes were on him to see how he'd play, and fair enough if he was to play that.
Put a dinner suit on and just pass the ball.
Yeah, just ball playing role, nothing too much. Don't run the line. Nah. But there was a few times he tapped the ball and fucking went, right? And that's one way to test it out. So he's all in, and
he put one bomb up where his leg nearly fell off. So his hammy's all right.
But just from the outside looking in, and a non-Penrith fan, it just feels like, as annoying as it is, it feels like they're just toying with the comp. It doesn't feel like they're at full tilt yet. You know what I mean? Which is so. Can
I say one thing? And I found this stat while having a look the other day. Serraldo knew everything about Penrith, right? He knows Toto takes the first hit up. So Dylan Edwards runs it back. Toto next, Peachy or Crichton into Taruva. James Fisher-Harris and Moses Leota ran for over 140 metres in the first half. Taruva ran for 50, and the two centres ran for about 25 metres each. So instead of the wingers and the centres getting in, they went straight through the middle of them with the two front rowers.
Just the depth, and that's what he did to us in the grand final.
Because everyone thought the back five would get into it, and they go, no, the two front rowers are getting into it.
Yeah.
And Liam Martin. So I think what I sort of wanted to say about Cleary is they all doubted him that his hammy wouldn't hold up, or he'd just ease his way back into it. The try that Luke Garner scored, where he knocked into beat Pangai, got knocked by Burton and slots the ball out to Garner.
That was the best, man.
Mate, because Pangai wanted to hurt him. But on Penrith quickly, Liam Martin re-signed is a massive thing for us. Because
was that today? Was that today's news?
Yeah, today or yesterday. And Dylan Edwards looks like he's about to re-sign him.
Is it just Luai that they're trying to do?
Well, yeah, we'll touch on Luai in a sec. But is Liam Martin, if not the best back rower in the game at the moment, top 3?
Oh, without doubt.
Is there a better back rower at the moment in the game?
Well, he'd be top 3. But what he did do just showed in the Origin series is that you can't not pick him.
He has to start, man. It's got to start.
And we fucked around with that position, the first couple of games and whatever. But enough.
We get that.
If kind of shit,
Anyway.
Yeah.
Done.
But so let's touch on the Luai thing.
Yeah, he goes.
You reckon he goes?
Yeah.
Now
he goes because they win this year.
Yeah. So
and
they
Crichton,
win this year. He goes.
Yeah.
I
and Crichton and Burton and it's look. It's got to be a point in time when you just go, all right, I've done enough. Let's just focus on the earn. You know what I mean, and making the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can't knock
and
it.
that comes either late in your career because you realise I'm not going to win a fucking premiership, or earlier in your career in the Penrith boys, they've won enough, where it's like, well, enough's enough, you know. And you know what? I think it'd be interesting, but I do think that he'll get a bit more, even though he's staying in Sydney. If he went to the Bulldogs, a bit more, be less of a torch on him, I suppose.
All right,
How
let
can he? He can't. Surely he can't go to the Bulldogs.
He can't go to the Dogs, mate. I heard that the other day.
There's no fucking money, man.
Mate.
There's no
all right,
way.
let's run through it, Scott. I'm with you, and I want to ask. I'll go back to the line in a sec. Let's run through it, right? Kickouts on 800, right? Pangai's on 800.
Is he fucking injured still? I forgot he was
back
even
this
there.
Week. So Kickouts on 800. Pangai's on 950.
Yeah.
Right. Burton just got upgraded to about 800. Crichton's got not gone for less than 800. So there's 4 blokes on 800.
Crichton's not on 800. No way.
Yeah, for fullback.
Penrith are offering him 650, 700.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. The Fox has got to be on decent cash.
Who's the 7 there?
Toby Sexton. He'd be on nothing, but he'd want an upgrade.
Flanagan.
And Flanagan's on. Yeah, he wouldn't be on much, right? Reid Marnie's on 800, 900.
Oh yeah, that fucking Jesus Christ, he's shit.
so you've got to offer him $1 million. Now, what I want to say about Luai, I love Luai. Does Luai fit into another club?
Tigers.
Yeah, but no, personality-wise.
If he leaves his beatbox at home, yeah.
Okay, but he's not, because that's him.
The hard thing is with it works with Penrith because there's
it's all the pollination.
Him and Toto and fucking Crichton and that.
So
it works
do you
for
build
him.
Like if you're a Tigers, if you're a Canterbury, you're a Tigers. Fuck, who else is there? You're a Raiders, losing Jack Whiten. You're a Canterbury. Say, do you build your brand on Jerome Luai?
Nah.
Because he seems to be polarising. He's polarised as everyone bar a Penrith fan.
Yeah, I think he can. He's a Robin. If I'm gonna be honest, he's not a Batman. He's a fucking Robin.
Yeah, but he took Samoa. He took Samoa to a World Cup final.
Yeah, but that's not a 25 weeks season with a lot of.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying. So for me, he stays at Penrith. For me, he stays at Penrith.
I was just about to stir Justin up. He'd look good next to Mitch Moses, but nah.
Hey, I wouldn't mind it, to be honest. You know?
Look, I'm with you, Heddo. I'm with you.
Would shut him up.
I don't think he's just a proper St. Mary's Mount Druitt boy.
I'll tell you what he does. This is what he'll do: sign a 1-year contract, right? Just to see where they're at. Right, and if they're like, I listened to Gus the other night, and he's like, if Penrith can keep Moses Leota, James Fisher-Harris, Liam Martin, Isaiah Yeo, Nathan Cleary, Dylan Edwards, and they somehow keep Luai, he goes, they win the next 4, 5, 6 comps.
Gus Gould said that.
Gus, he goes, people have got to catch them.
Yeah, that's right. You can't. If they do what say Geelong did in that, and they all took less to keep the group together, then look out, fucking hell, they got age on their side.
Because Cleary's going down in wage now. He earns less. He'll learn that by the time his contract's up, he'll be learning less than $1 million.
He's getting fucking better, so yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Endorsements, mate.
Yeah. So, all right, let's leave that there. We've spoken about it a lot. Looks like Penrith win the comp and Parra don't make the 8. Wow, that'll be. How good would that be? What if I tell you what, Justin? If Parramatta have to beat Penrith to make the 8 in that last game, wow.
Oh my god! Because hey, we got the wood over you. Besides,
that's right. I wouldn't put it past them.
Okay.
You're all high and mighty last year when you fucking smashed us.
I know. And then
Wait,
us. Look at him.
I know. Listen to me. Us. It's because the academy's right behind me, mate.
I'm not a massive Penrith fan. I only support Souths, Para, Dragons, every other team.
I watched the boys train from my bathroom, mate.
All right. Now we talk about nothing changes in the NRL. Nothing really changes in the AFL. Collingwood keep on keeping on. Although something has changed. Dacos is still winning the ball, winning the Brownlow. I've got a big gripe here to pick with the AFL. So my punt at the start of the year was Joe Danaher, Coleman into Brisbane Lions to win the flag. Both Charlie Curnow and Tex Walker play West Coast twice. Charlie Curnow's kicked 10 and 9 against the shittest team I could kick 10 against, right? The Texan has kicked 9 against West Coast and plays them in the last round. And tell me that every Adelaide player is not going to kick it to him.
Yeah, because you know what? It'll probably be his last game as well.
He just re-signed for another year today, right? Okay. But it's daylight robbery. They've robbed me of my multi.
Yeah, that is shit. That is shit.
Because Harry Mackay didn't play. Harry Mackay didn't play both games that Curnow kicked a bag full off.
Oh, fuck. So what is he?
And then Will Ashcroft goes down with an ACL, the poor kid, for Brisbane as well, mate. Which, JB, I want to ask you about. I want to ask about that off the top.
Yeah.
For me, I did a bit of research on it. I think he still wins the NAB Rising Star. I think 18 games is enough. Do you? Or the Sheasel or someone like that because they play the full season?
Yeah, look, I think that he deserves... Ashcroft deserves it.
I think he's banked enough, hasn't he? Has he got enough runs on the board?
He should do. I think it's a narrative thing, I suppose. Like if you
don't play the full season,
if you don't get through it, there's been others in the past that have done the similar thing and they haven't got through it, and then there's always that argument. Well,
so is it? So I'll ask you this: is it a bigger call to give him the NAB Rising Star, or is it a bigger call not to give it to him?
I think either way, either way you look at it, I think they should give it to him. Because I think he's done more damage in the 18 games.
Yes, than any other player.
But Sheasel's probably the next one, right? I don't think there's anyone else to talk about.
Yeah.
Sheasel's been, obviously more consistent because he played more games. But I think the damage that he's done in a better side, and that's the other argument. You know what I mean?
Then that's where I was headed
Melbourne.
Next.
You got North Melbourne's a lower side, then it's...
And Sheasel's going to stand out.
Yeah, he's going to stand out. Where for a first-year player to stand out as much as Ashcroft has a top 4 side, I think that holds more weight than Sheasel. So, I wouldn't be disappointed if he does win. I think he should win it, and I think majority of people would agree, yeah.
All right. Now, just staying on the Lions then for a sec, look, it's an effect that Ashcroft's gone down and he misses basically 12 months, the poor kid, and won't come back till the end of next year, season next year. How bad does it hurt their chances in that midfield, or have they got enough coverage in the midfield? Like, does Rayner go and play a little bit more in the midfield to cover Ashcroft?
Yeah. You'll find that Rayner will go in there a bit more. Look, it'll hurt. You'll notice a little bit of a difference, but I don't think it will be massive.
Because Dunkley looks like he's stepping up again. He looks like he's coming into a bit of form now as well.
Yeah, they've got the cattle to cover it, but Rayner's the one. Like Rayner's. It's
if kind he can get his hands on it.
Yeah, like you kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul a little bit with Rayner. Like if you take him out the forward line, he's so damaging, but at the same time, he will get it down there for you. So,
because I think we spoke about too, just staying on the lines for a sec, that their hoodoo around the MCG, it's a fucking hoodoo. You're 24 points up at the MCG against the Demons of all clubs, right? own the MCG. You're 24 points up. You get beaten by a point on the MCG.
Yeah.
It's not the dimensions of the ground that beat you.
No.
Because you were 24 points up. But they've got it. And again, it's like every interstate team we talk about. To win the flag, you got to win at the MCG. It doesn't the only chance they had was, the Gabba and then WA or wherever they both were.
Yeah.
For that 1 year.
I don't know. It must be a thing for them at the moment, whether it's in their psyche or not, where they do think about it and they shit their pants. But look, at the end of the day, I've always said that finals is totally different. Like, you can't really, regardless.
Finals footy's different.
All those records that during the year, they all go in the fucking bin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, while we're on the Demons then, two things. Gawn and Grundy never going to work? Or does Grundy come back in and Gawn somehow plays more forward, even though he couldn't get his hands on it? And he plays one game on his own and probably plays the best game he's played in 3 or 4 years.
I don't think they'll ever work, to be honest.
So it won't work because Gawn's a better ruckman than Grundy, and then Grundy can't go forward?
Yeah, look, they're both exactly the same player. They do a lot more. I think what you do see a lot. You do see that obviously when Gawn will take a mark kick a goal, that's noticeable versus a lot of his ruck work, second efforts down the back line, right?
Yeah,
they're both exactly the same. Like they work a lot more full ground, and they're a bit more damaging all over the ground. And obviously, you can't play them both together at the same time, and they're not going to just interchange them. But I think Gawn gets the nod because of his goal kicking, and I just don't think it's not going to work. I think that you'll find that Grundy
stays, and then Petrarca stays up forward.
Yeah, I think
does
so.
The 80-20 rule only plays 20% on ball and 80% up forward.
Yeah, it all depends on when Oliver comes back, but I think you'll find that that's where he needs to be this year, especially
because they haven't got a goal kicker. No one can kick goals.
No. Like they're going to rely on that small crumbing style. They got Bailey Fritsch down there as their target, and he's a fucking small guy.
He's a midget compared.
Yeah. So I think you'll find that helps them. And if they get Clayton Oliver back sooner rather than later, I think you'll find him playing more down there. And but they are hard to fucking tip, I tell you, at the moment,
mate.
But they do seem like a side that they just get their cards aligned, just coming into the
finals.
Look out, So
now, this podcast ratings go through the roof when Para shit. They go even better when Carlton is shit. What have they done? Has Vossi thrown the coaching manual out the window and let them start running?
Well,
because Lygon, there's fireworks going off on Lygon Street. They've now rebought. They've rebought their grand final tickets.
Yeah, look, I don't. Oh, they've been going right. Obviously, they're on a bit of a streak.
Mate, they've played fucking no one, JB.
They played Port. They beat Port, but
with 13
Port had
out.
Yes, exactly right, and that's why I was frustrated, just with the media on it, and it just shows that the media enjoy. They really want Carlton to do well, right? Now, no one.
But they love it when they're shit.
Yeah. So no one at all. When they beat Port, the narrative was like, "Fuck, here we go. They're back. They've beaten the second top side by a fucking country mile. Like, where's this been all year?" And I'm waiting for the comment or someone to come out and say, "Look, let's just chill out for a sec.
Yep,
we've beaten the reserve grade side of Port, and then yes, they've come out and they've smashed West Coast and they've beaten Hawthorn and."
They beat the Suns or something too, didn't they? In
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So, yeah. Look, they played Collingwood this week, right? Friday night.
But they're without Cripps and Silvani. Is that right?
Yes, I'm hearing that.
Or
I'm hearing that.
They've got fitness tests.
Yeah, but there is, I don't know whether this is a Queenslander getting into the Collingwood camp saying there's a virus going around.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So look, it'll be interesting if they win, if they can beat Collingwood or keep it close. Then yeah, look, maybe they are on the right track. But Cripps to them, if they don't have Cripps,
They don't win.
They're a totally different side, mate.
Yeah. All right. Is this turning into the best season of AFL in a long time? Now, there's still pretty much 12 teams that can make the finals. You can probably now take out Adelaide and Gold Coast, Freo, Hawthorn, North and West Coast aren't going to make it. They're on 32. Sydney probably on the edge at 34. So 11, 12 teams that can still make the 8.
Yeah.
Geelong are in the 8 on 38 and Sydney are 12th on 34.
Yeah. Do you know what? I had a look earlier. Now, I think the top 4 will stay.
Stay the same, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Now, the bottom, 5th, 5 to 8, GWS, so Bulldogs, St Kilda and Geelong have a decent run home.
Yes, I'm looking at it, yeah. Bulldogs GWS got the hardest.
GWS are going to struggle with that run home, which leaves the door open. Look, I don't think the way Richmond's playing and the fact that Rewalt's come out during the week talking about that he potentially will retire against North Melbourne last round this year, I think they won't make it.
Yeah.
But I think Carlton and potentially Essendon, depending on their run, but I think Carlton could sneak in.
All right, let's hold it there. Carlton's got Collingwood, St Kilda, Melbourne, Suns, GWS.
Yeah, so I think that they should win 3 of the last 2, 3 out of 5. But I think
still
GWS
think St Kilda
will
drop out.
Yeah, okay. They have a decent run home though.
But mate, they nearly got beat by West Coast and North.
Yeah. But fuck. Yeah. Saints are they yeah.
So they got Hawthorn, Carlton, Richmond, Geelong and Brisbane. St Kilda.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be fair enough. Fair call. Who knows with them? Fuck me.
And then our man Bud's back. There's talk in the papers this week.
I don't know if you could write the Swannies off.
There's talk in the paper this week he wants to go around again for another year because he's just kicked 2 in a row. He's kicked 2 goals one week, 3 goals the next.
Yeah.
But, JB, what I want to sort of suggest about Sydney is whether he plays or not, he becomes a target, yeah? And he takes away a defender. And he's still strong enough to mix it, yeah?
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, yeah, they're never not going to keep an eye on him, put it that way.
Yeah, because he can kick it from anywhere.
Yeah.
All right. Collingwood and Port. I'll tell you what I loved about the game beforehand is they threw the actual rule book out the window and got into each other all week.
Yeah.
They spoke shit about, not shit, but they were we want to win. Yeah, it wasn't, Port Adelaide are okay, Collingwood are okay, they're doing well. Ken Hinkley said Collingwood expect to win and threw Collingwood under the bus. Braden Maynard threw Port Adelaide under the bus and they bashed each other for pretty much 4 quarters.
Yeah. And that was the game that it was kind of a yardstick for both teams, I suppose. Obviously, it's harder for us to go over there to win. And obviously, we towed them up during the start of the year at the G. And that was for Port to be able to say, well, hang on. Yes, you might have dusted us, but coming over here is a different story. It was a fucking good game.
Yeah.
And I think, like it'll be, if it stays 1 and 2, they should stay opposite sides of the draw. But that would be it'd be a tough game either way you look at it.
All right. Now, question to both of you before we continue our conversation. The winner of the flag only comes from the top 4?
Yep.
Well, look, yes, history says yes.
History does, but this year's a little bit different for me already, with 12 teams still able to make the 8, right?
Definitely. I think there's a massive gap.
Yeah, from 5.
From 4 to 5. From
is a
the
big
top
gap.
4 to massive gap.
Yeah, and I don't disagree, right?
Yeah.
I'm still, look, as I said to you both, I backed the Lions at the start. I'm not jumping off. But for me, with Clayton Oliver still to come back in, right, the Demons always seem to fire. And I know Geelong are 8th, but if they can get a full team on the park, Geelong probably the only one to jump out of the bottom 5 to give it a shake.
And they are, I think they're the only team that can make a massive upset. Like if they win the first,
and play finals
game,
footy, because they're used to playing finals footy.
Well, if they snuck in at 8, right, they'll play
5.
They'll play 5, and then
they're win 4 finals. That's the hard part. You win 4 finals.
There's someone that can get through to the prelim.
Yeah, and
really
just bunker down.
Yeah.
So back on Richmond and Jack. Do you think he retires?
Yeah.
Because of Cochin? Or he's gone a year too long, Jack?
No. I think that he's timed it right. Like, I think he's held on just to see where it goes.
Yeah, so are they in a rebuild, Richmond?
They will be after this season finishes, yeah.
With Cochin and Riewoldt gone, still the big rumour about Dusty, whether he's going to stay and finish his career at Richmond. Do they really need to offer up someone like that to get a rebuild happening quicker?
Yeah, of course they do. I saw a comment headline during the week. I don't know who it was from. Someone was saying that Hawthorn are closer to winning a premiership than Richmond.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't necessarily.
Were they in a psych ward?
Maybe potentially, but I think Jack held on this year just to see how it all goes. But yeah, I think he goes. I think Trent will go, and it'll take him. It'll take.
Sorry, gents. I thought I muted myself there.
You didn't, because I just got wet.
Mate, I'm struggling.
It'll take it'll take a rebuild now, but it'll be interesting to see who coaches him. That's the difference, I think, whether or not Dusty stays or not. I don't think it's a money thing for Dusty.
Nah, correct. Nah.
I think it's a culture thing for him.
Yeah, and where it fits best for him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look. Again, I think it's one of the better AFL seasons, and that game on the weekend, like there'll be 100+ Collingwood Carlton at the MCG.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't get anything else. All right, boys. Could Australia have won the Ashes in any better way? For me, no. The Poms think they created the cricket rules, want to then recreate cricket rules to suit themselves, and forget about all the shit they carried on with in 2013 and Young, and you sent through that photo to us before.
Yeah.
Mate, they were dancing and carrying on like dead set pork chops because it rained for 2 days.
And
rained for 2 days, and
they were
They were retaining the Ashes due to the rain while being 3 for 37.
Yeah.
Chasing what?
Chasing 331 runs.
Yeah. Mate,
Fucking wankers.
The best quote was from Glenn McGrath just recently. I think it was yesterday or something. He come out and said, "Oh, fuck, England with all this carry on." He goes, "Australia were in the box seat. We were going to set them. We were going to score 500, set them 250 to win and bowl them out." He goes, "Who's going to say England again?" Really stirred them up. But again, it's a 5-test series, and if you lose the first 2, you're always on the back foot, and you give the weather. That's when you give the weather the chance.
Well,
yeah,
and that's
they've
what they've
got
done.
excuses
Because you're good in one test and you flog us. Like, rain for 2 days, mate.
Mate, didn't they declare? They declared and we come just flogged them.
the first test.
The first game. Declared, mate.
You deserve to lose for that, mate. Yeah.
Mate,
what a captain, eh?
Your captain's a Kiwi, your coach is a Kiwi, right? So you're 2 of the best Kiwis ever to be produced are trying to play for the Poms, as I'm saying. But Ben Stokes said, quote, unquote, and I don't give a shit if I'm wrong here, but he goes something along the lines of, "This team, if we don't win the Ashes, it is what it is, but I'm here to set a legacy on how cricket should be played."
All right.
Fuck off, mate.
That's Baz's comment.
Yeah. Mate, that means you actually lost. That's when you're going, "Oh, well, elbow up, play straight," right? And you know the other good thing? Johnny Bairstow didn't get 100. He was stuck on 99 not.
That's it.
And you know what he did? This is what he did. He went and grabbed a stump.
What, to keep it?
From a drawn test. Losing the Ashes, fucking, he went, because he got 99 not and thought he was a gun, went and grabbed a stump at the end of the game. Mate, stick that as far up your jacksie as you can get it. Mate, I hope he gets run out again.
I just love how much they just sook and cry. They got excuses why they should have won the first and the second test and all this sort of bullshit. It's like, well,
mate, you didn't.
Mate, I know
you didn't. And you know what? I hope we
just say,
give
look,
someone a rap.
We
mate.
should have been better.
Yeah.
I hate the Aussies, but look, we should have been better.
Yeah, 100%. Now I'm still building a statue of Pat, even though everyone hates Pat. Every cricket journalist is saying Pat's the shittest captain we've ever had.
And even the journalists are throwing up saying that he's going to give back the captaincy after this.
Yeah.
What?
But yeah.
Oh, people are coming out saying he's going to give the captaincy back.
Yeah. To Steve.
Well, he's going to retire. They're not giving it to Steve Smith.
He'll just give it up. So he'll just give it back to whoever. But anyway, it's all bullshit.
So it looks like they'll play a spinner from. I was just watching some stuff before we come on here. Looks like they'll play a spinner.
Yeah.
They'll drop Cam Green. Well, there was rumours that Mitch Marsh has pulled up real sore. So Mitch Marsh might make way for the spinner and Cameron Green stays.
I think you find Mitch will, he'll make way due to the status of the test.
Yeah. And then Mitch Stark with the shoulder.
Yeah.
Michael Nessa looks like he'll come in, who is bowling up a storm for county cricket and scoring hundreds like there's no tomorrow.
That's a bloke that I feel sorry for that bloke. Like, he should be played a lot more tests than he ever done.
50 tests.
Yeah.
But look, we've retained the Ashes and we've retained it in, for me, the best way possible. Like, to make it. It's been a whinging series and we've retained it with rain.
It's a big fuck you.
It's a big... And, like, they're coming out. So, the other thing before we finish off with the multi and the joke and a bit of UFC, because there's a bit of UFC news today, JB, that I'll get you to touch on. They've come out today and said, if you retain the Ashes, it should just be... It's not retained. It's just the Ashes sit there until someone wins it.
Who said that? England?
England, yeah. So, the Ashes should never be retained. You actually have to win it to win it. Fuck off, man.
That's just fuck off.
Oh, no.
That's just them.
Go have your cup of tea and fuck off.
Yeah, actually go. And you know the funny thing about it was, the day after it pissed down for 2 days. It was a fucking stinking hot day in Manchester, and the sun was out. And they reckon you could have played cricket on it the next day.
Classic. That's
Right,
fucking Shane Warne, mate. Warney looking over the top.
We've gone a bit over time, and we appreciate the listeners and viewers still tuning in, but we had to get a lot out after we missed a couple of weeks. But JB, some big announcements today in the UFC. Ty's back.
Yeah.
Punching on in Australia on the 9th of September. Is that right?
10th of September on the Sunday.
It's my birthday.
Sydney.
Yeah. Massive news. He's been hanging around. Just waiting for the perfect fight for him.
So has he been hanging around for an Australian fight, like in Australia, or has he just been trying to find that fight, you reckon?
Look, he's always been would have fought anywhere, but with his status at the moment, like he don't take anything, but he's smart with what he's taken. But it just landed perfectly with the timing, and there's Alexander Volkov fight for him. Just lined up perfectly with Sydney, but this will be a big challenge for him. I mean, I know that Cyril Gane won. Cyril Gane's probably just a touch, better level than him. But this Alexander Volkov, man, like this guy is a Russian bloke. He's this dangly fucking bloke that can just really
knock him out.
He's not really he's just more of he really puts the pressure on.
Well, I heard Ty say today that they both love to stand up and punch on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's hard to get him. Hard not this bloke out. He's a scoring looking bloke. But if anyone can do it, the blokes that have knocked Alexander Volkov out are the biggest hitters in the UFC, like Derek Lewis and a few others. And Ty's got that. So this will put him, if he can knock him out, this has to put him up in the knee. He needs a top 5
title
fight.
Shot?
Not title shot, because a few things are going to happen in the heavyweight with John Jones and Stipe and a few others going through. So, but it gives him a top 5 fight next for sure. Yeah, if he wins, definitely.
Yeah, right. So that could be a big weekend. Young, and you're on the multi this week.
Yeah, I am, mate. I was too scared to go into the Matildas game, and luckily I didn't. I would have had Mary Fowler, but she's pulled out. So, mate, I've gone a 3-leg multi just in the one game. Melbourne Storm versus Para Eels.
Fucking hell, here we go.
I haven't picked a winner because
I
haven't picked a winner, mate. Because
you're nothing alone, mate. Come on.
No, don't put hands. Surely you haven't put handsy in, have you?
Nah,
he's gone hands for a double.
No. I've given up on him. I've lost.
He hates scoring a try, doesn't he?
He owes me a really good present for Christmas. That little fuck. I've fucking spent a ton on him. Anyway,
go yourself, handsy. Fuck. Dummy and run.
3. I've got anytime try scorers. Just the 3 fellas. I've got Jerome Hughes, Elisa Katoa, and Bryce Cartwright.
Bryce Cartwright let me down the last time I had my multi on.
So 2 Storm, 1 Eel. It's paying $44.
Fuck.
With a 50 on it, and that's a 2,200 return. That's a massive odds, I thought.
That's
for that.
value. That's good value.
And Bryce Cartwright, like you said, he's a bit of a hit and a miss, but if anyone's going to do something fucking weird and out of the ordinary, he's that guy. So,
well, he's just signed.
He's just re-signed.
So it means he's going to have a stinker.
And does he start this week for Sean Lane?
Yeah.
Comes onto the... Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see, eh? Let's just enjoy that. Enjoy that this weekend.
All right, enjoy that. All right, now the viewers have been waiting for this, and please don't let us down. You've had a lot of time to think about this joke. So,
do you get it?
Yeah, you better get this one.
I don't, JB.
I probably won't. I've had a big week.
JB's joke of the week.
Yeah.
Or the
All
mock.
right.
Haven't mocked anyone recently, have you?
What?
Haven't mocked anyone recently, have you?
Oh, well, the NBA's finished, so that's good.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have yet. Hey, I'm due for one. All right, so joke of the week. A woman pregnant with triplets gets shot 3 times in the stomach. Miraculously, her and all 3 babies survived. She had 2 girls, 1 boy. Years later, one of the girls runs up to her mother in shock. Mum, I was peeing and a bullet came out. Shocked, the woman explained the story of what happened when she was pregnant. The next day, the other girl comes up. Mum, I was peeing and a bullet came out. So the woman explained again what happened. The next day, the boy runs up. Mum, the mother says, yeah, let me guess. You were peeing and a bullet came out. Still shocked, the boy says, no, I was having a wank and I shot the dog.
I didn't think that was. I didn't think that was.
I didn't see that one coming at all.
I didn't see that one going that way at all.
Oh, mate, that's you've fucking nailed me there. I
Yeah,
needed that. I needed that. I really needed that. That was fucking fantastic.
We should have a 2-week break more often. Wow.
Oh, fucking hell, Justin. That was great.
Well done. Well done. All right, boys. That's some good listening. Great joke to finish. Get on board the multi. Get on board the Matildas Thursday night against the Nigerians. And then by the time we're back on, we'll be able to talk about the Canada game. But big time on the Matildas. Enjoy the week, lads.
You too, mate.
Get on it.
Thank you, boys.
Nice one. Ciao.
Speak soon. Bye.
Cheers.